So you finally did it. You quit your corporate job. Or maybe you're sitting at your desk right now, staring at your laptop, and you're planning your exit. And the first question that hits you is this: what do I do now? I'll be honest with you. Most executives make a massive mistake right here. They panic and they jump right back into another W-2 role that they're gonna hate in 6 months. First, we're going to talk about why the traditional executive job search is completely broken and why sending out resumes is a waste of your time. Then I'm going to walk you through the exact alternative, becoming a fractional executive, and why it's the ultimate career hack for senior leaders. We also need to talk about the freedom and the control you get when you stop renting out 40 hours of your week to one company. And finally, I'll explain how you can actually make more money working part-time for 3 companies than you did working full-time for one. Let's jump right into it. You know how it goes. You leave a high-level corporate role, and your first instinct is to update your LinkedIn, call a few recruiters, and start interviewing for another VP or C-suite position. But deep down, you know exactly what's waiting for you. The same politics, the same endless meetings, and the same burnout. Just a different logo on the building. If you want to know what to do after quitting your corporate job, the answer is pretty simple. You stop looking for a boss and you start looking for clients. You become a fractional executive. Instead of giving 100% of your time and energy to one company that can lay you off on a Tuesday morning, you take your exact same expertise and you sell it to 3 or 4 companies on a permanent part-time basis. Let's break down exactly why this is the smartest move you can make right now. The first thing you have to realize is that the traditional W-2 executive role is a trap. When you work full-time for one company, they own your time, they own your calendar, they get to dictate how and when you get to take a vacation and how much you're allowed to earn. And the worst part, you have zero diversification. If that company has a bad quarter, or if a new CEO comes in and wants to bring in their own team, your entire income goes to zero overnight. But let's be real, you didn't spend 30 years building your expertise just to have your livelihood controlled by one person's mood. When you become a fractional executive, you instantly diversify your risk. You have 3 clients. If one of them churns, you still have 66% of your income. You're not scrambling to pay your mortgage. You can just go find another client to fill that slot. You take back control of your career. The second reason to make this shift is the actual work itself. Think about your last corporate job. How much of your week was actually spent doing high-level strategic work that moved the needle? Maybe 20%? The rest was just managing internal politics, sitting in alignment meetings, and dealing with HR issues. When you're a fractional executive, all of that garbage disappears. Companies hire you specifically for your strategic brain. They don't want you in the weeds of office politics. They want you to come in, assess the situation, build a strategy, and most importantly, they want you to drive the results. And because you're working with multiple companies across different industries, the work is actually interesting again. You get to solve complex problems, see immediate impact, and then log off. The best part about being a fractional executive is that you don't have any of the corporate bloat. The third thing we need to talk about is the elephant in the room, client acquisition. Right after you quit, the panic sets in. You think, I'm an operator, I'm a strategist, I'm not a salesperson. How am I supposed to find clients? In the corporate world, the work was just handed to you. Now you have to go get it. And if you try to sell yourself like a consultant, you're gonna fail. You end up begging for project work on Upwork or spamming people on LinkedIn. But here's the secret, you do not need to become a sleazy salesperson. We all have that image in our head of that used car salesperson. That does not have to be you. You just need a system. You need a predictable pipeline that engineers word-of-mouth referrals and positions you as the only logical choice for a CEO's specific problem. When you have a system that brings the right clients to you, the fear of selling completely disappears. Because you aren't selling anymore. You're just diagnosing their problem, and offering the solution. The final thing to understand is the math. A lot of people are terrified to leave the safety of a corporate salary. But let's look at the numbers. If you are making $200,000 a year in your corporate job, you are probably working 50, 60 hours a week. As a fractional executive, you can charge $5,000 to $15,000 a month per client for just 1 day of work per week. So if you have 3 clients, even say at $6,000 a month, you're making $216,000 a year. But you're only working 3 days a week. On those other 2 days, you can take on a 4th client if you would like to increase your income, or you can use them to play golf, spend time with your kids, or just decompress. You're finally decoupling your time from your earning potential. So when we talk about what to do after quitting your corporate job, we're talking about the moment you realize you don't have to go back to the grind. It means recognizing the W-2 model is broken and that true security comes from diversifying your income across multiple clients. It means getting back to the high impact strategic work you actually enjoy without the corporate politics. And it means understanding you don't need to become a sleazy salesperson. You just need a predictable system to bring the right clients to you. When you make this shift, you stop building someone else's dream and you start building your own fractional operating system. Now that you understand how to market your fractional business, if you want to see how to turn these strategies into a predictable, scalable pipeline, go watch this video next. The system behind predictable pipeline for fractional executives. In that video, you'll see how to take these marketing concepts and build them into a cohesive system that runs even when you're busy delivering client work. Go watch that video next.